Good evening. I salute you. This is Mwaka Lutukumoi, the former DP national spokesperson or spokesman in Uganda, the former deputy RDC of Lera appointed by the president. Today I want to interest you in my book, The Innocent Criminals. I am an innocent criminal, and many others incarcerated. I spent over a year here in American jails, and I was able to see torture, racism, and many others. In why it is written, 1 month's experience of refugee torture and incarceration in American jails. You can see me in handcuffs, small, now I'm bigger. You can see my picture. This is when I was already working. After a year or two, I think. Behind is the summary of the book. It talks about how people come to the US to get sanctuary in a new land to be their home. Also about me is down. Friends, before I go far, I live in pain like many Ugandans who are tortured through police brutality. I suffered as a torture victim. I lived on Panadol for over 8 or so years, from 2011. Friends, when I was tortured, I came here to the US as a scholar and presented a paper on violence and social change in one of the universities. I'm a scholar with Harry Frank Guggenheim Foundation in the US, who were enrolled in 2012. This story is my story. Every story needs a listener. I was innocent criminal both in Uganda and here. I was innocent criminal for 20 years suffering in the Northern War. Gulu was the epicenter. We were in a refugee camp. Over 30,000 children were abducted. Some of us just survived incarceration by the skin of our teeth. And then when I came here, I was incarcerated after presenting my paper. My crime was trying to go to Canada, where there are many friends there. I decided to go to Canada, but at the border, the authority rejected me, saying they have a third party with US government, and it prevents one with US visa to go to Canada. I thought I would go back to Uganda. Unfortunately, they put a handcuff in my hand on deportation. They took me to Clinton jail, one of the dangerous jails in America. After a week, they took me into Batavia jail. From there, I spent over a year. The whole of 2017, I came out in 2018. But in the process, life was very hard because I had pain, headache every day. Head turn was almost starting. I didn't know. The torture affected my back so much. I didn't know it affected also my spine. So in jail, I was elected the president of those in jail. That helped me to be going to law library and read law books, immigration books, where people win and lose their cases. I read cases because I learned that most people fail and are deported because they cannot speak. They leave their cases to pro bono lawyers. And the lawyers were deployed because the President Trump deployed many mean judges across the US. At that time, he called Africans from shit hole, meaning the other thing, and not talk about it. You use your head to think about the meaning of what he said. The judges were there to deport. They create cases which are not there. When in jail, you need to work every day, and they pay you $1 a day. Every Friday, you get $5 and a call. I was able to go to court. I told my lawyers, about 4, I told them to let me present my case because I knew these pro bono lawyers were not good enough. I was able to present my case so well that the judge sympathized with me because I went in pain. I was helped to enter court and I was good. I gave 4 cases. How the president in 1789, a law was passed where he can deport immigrants, but it was repealed immediately after a year or so. The judge was amazed, and even my lawyers. I won the case, and the judge said I can sue them because I had my visa valid up to 2019. I wasn't illegal. Read this book. You'll get details. It is good for scholars, for organizations, both here at home and to you who's listening, because inside we have strategies on how to come to the US from Uganda. I have legal strategies on what you can do to be here. Read this book, you'll get everything. Yes, friends, there are many Ugandans in jail who are innocent criminals. In this book, I did a desktop research on why and how refugees come to the US. I did research on corruption and racism, of incarceration. I defined many things. I did even literature review briefly, but the book is about my story. Every story needs a listener. I'm not a criminal, but innocent criminal. Many Ugandans in jail, many Ugandans are suffering. The president is a patriot. By the way, when I was deputy RDC Nera, my boss was Odon George, now MP. We fought corruption. We realized that local government is a layer of corruption. We're able to call parliament to investigate money in the district. Because of that, we were hated. I was transferred to Kitgum in 2016. I spent about 2 weeks before quitting and resigning because I had no office. Life was hard. I had no car. I struggled. In Lira, because of fighting corruption, I was prevented. I couldn't give my issues to the president. I survived assassination from the thugs in the district because I remember one day I was to go to the market to expose district leaders who shared the main market among themselves, selling to the local poor people, yet it was meant for them. That's the reason why the president lost election in Lira in 2016, where I was blamed. Guess what? There were bombs discovered in Lira, about 5. It was to hit me, but someone told me that be careful, a whistleblower, and I called police. They were able to investigate and get bombs in the market. So I survived assassination. In 2018, the leaders, the local people in Lira requested the president, and I was able to be reappointed. They told me, true or not, it's a vote of confidence. Unfortunately, I was preparing to go for surgery. As I told you before, through the torture, my spine was affected. I developed neurological disease that affects my speech, gives me headache every day, and turns my head. In February, I broke my leg. I fell down so bad. I should have hit my head, but thank God I hit my leg. I had surgery. I'm getting better. But many Ugandans go through the same. That is why it's important for us to do what Mao is doing. Opposition should not deceive Uganda. You can't do the same thing for 37 years and think you can have a good result. You say elections are sham, fake, stolen, yet you participate every 5 years to get money. Because the leading opposition gets more than about 3 billion. They get 3 billion, and others also get some billions down. Some MPs have taken over 30 years in parliament, and they call themselves opposition. In fact, they're the reasons the president is around, because the president is a patriot. He doesn't want to leave the country in the hands of thieves and hypocritic people. Mao did the best thing to sign an agreement for transition. We need a national conversation. Norbert Mao advocated for peace in northern Uganda, went to the jungle and met Kony and advised him to stop the killings. We lost over 300 people in Balonne, cold-blooded death, one day, one village. In Acholi, heads were boiled. Many people died, over 700,000 people died. 1.8 million people incarcerated in camps. Over 30,000 children were abducted by LRA, according to UNICEF report in 2001. I think we need a national dialogue and conversation and see what kind of governance we need in our country. How we can devolve our government, how we can unite. Actually, Bakonzo, Baganda, everybody have issues. We need national reconciliation. We need an apology day. Things have been bad. We're ethnically divided. There's a northern question. If you read Pinto article he wrote sometime, he was a professor in the university. He said, Pinto, he said, there's a northern question. Uganda has issues. As I said, we need national conversation. This book is good for scholars. I talked for organizations. For you, as I said, you can get data on Reaching America. Read and you get everything. I'm tired of talking. I'm learning to talk. I need help to walk. I have headache every day. I walk with a cane. I'm disabled. My life is hard. I'm in pain, like many Ugandans. I thank you for listening. I'm tired of talking, but we need a good Uganda.